Hi guys, it's me UB programmer and welcome to the lecture 3 of Python for AI. And in this lecture we will cover control flow in the Python. And believe me, this will be most important tools in your programming toolkit, right? So better to keep them all in note. And the topics we will cover are as follows: if else statement, conditional statement, right? Then for and while loops, break and continue statements, zip and enumerate, and list comprehensions. Now let's talk about them one by one. So first of all we will cover if else, and these are basically the conditional statements. So I can condition my program with them, right? So I am making a variable age, and the age is 12 for now. Let's keep it 21 for now, right? And I'm saying if the age is greater than, this is greater than sign, uh, 18, then print you can drink, but try to be in limit, right? uh, if the age is exactly equal to the 17, then we will say wait for a year, then you can drink. And then else is anything which is not true for these statements, right? So that means below uh, 18 years old, so we will say no drinking, right? Now let me just execute it so you can see. For now the age is 21 and it's saying you can drink, right? But now let's keep it 12 or whatever below 18, and it will say no drinking. And if I just say 17, which is elif statement, so age equal 17 will be true, and it will say wait for a year, right? So that is the working of the if else and elif statement, right? And now let's talk about loops. So in the loops, let me say, so I want to print my channel name for 5 times. I would just say for channel name in the range of 5. And what is this range? Let me just make it clear to you. So it's 0 to 4, or the last digit is excluded always, right? So if I just show you what it exactly is, 0 1 2 3 4, right? So in a list. So this is the range of 5 digits, and this channel name will be 0 at the first, so we will print it, and then it will be become 4 at the last, and we will uh, print the UV programmer for 5 times, right? So that's how the for loop works, and you can just combine these conditional statement with the for loop, right? How you can do that, I will just say if channel name equal to, right? Say print I am 2, just for seeing the working, right? So it's giving you the result, and we can use this else. So I will just say else print this, and if the channel name is 2, so you can see we will only get 5 total statements, one of them will be 2, right? So let's make it the way it was so that I can share the source code exactly, right? So it's linking to my GitHub, and it's always like updating, right? So you can always download it from the description. Now let's talk about the while loop, and we don't use this loop a lot, but it's better to know about it because in some cases we need it, right? So we mostly use the for loop for the data science and AI, right? And now let's do the same thing, like printing this UB programmer for 5 times with the for loop, and it will give you the same result. So how I'm doing it, I'm just saying a counter variable, right? So print counter, and just initializing it with the 0 and incrementing it with the 1 after every time I am printing this name. And the condition for while is it should be less than 5, that means 4, right? So I will just increment it one by one, and when it will uh, become 5, that means you don't have to print that statement anymore, so it will just come out from the loop. Now we have the break statement. Let's see how it works. So with the same for loop, I'm just saying if channel name equal to, so I'm combining if statement within the for loop, right? So I'm saying break. So whenever this condition will be true, whatever condition you set, the loop will end, right? So execution control will be out of the loop, and so I am just can print here I am out of loop, and you will see it will execute in the end. So I'm out of loop, and if I just say 3, so it will print it for 3 times. Let me just, yeah, and then it will be out of loop, right? So that was it for the break statement. We use it for some cases but not a lot, right? Then continue statement. So how it works, so I have added a little comment for that. So whenever this condition will be true or the continue will be executed, it will not allow to execute the loop content. It will just redirect it to the again execution of the loop. So whatever condition you are passing, it will be true. It will not allow to do that iteration for the loop, right? So that's it for the continue. Then we have the zip, how we can zip two lists together. So I have the fruit list, which are the names of the fruit. Then we have quantities, so we have 5 mangoes, 10 oranges, and 15 apples, right? And what I want is make a pair of these, so I can just say zip and then pass out both of our list and keep it within our list so that we can read it out. If I just execute this, it will be just an object which is not readable. Let me just make it yeah, it's giving us, right? So zip at this memory address, so it's not readable for us, but if we just execute this, it will be giving something like that. So it's making a tuple, so this small bracket is for tuple. In the previous video I have explained the tuples, right? So the mangoes are 5, oranges are 10, and the apples are 15. So it has automatically combined them both, right? Both list, and we can do the indexing also on that to see one by one pair, right? Now let's talk about the enumerate, and this is an important concept, but you can achieve these functionalities by using just the loops and some other techniques, right? But it's better to know about that. So we have a list, and what enumerate will do is keep the track of every element with the index, right? So at the position or the index we have mangoes, at the 1 we have oranges, at the 2 we have apples. So that's what it is basically doing. It just keeping the track element wise, right? So keeping a index value track to the every element in a list or in any iterable object, right? Now let's see why we use enumerate. So let's say we want to print something when I becomes 2 in a loop. So this is the loop and I want to print the same thing I have done before. So I is 2 now, right? So I can just create an counter variable, right? And then I will be you can say uh, incrementing it by the 1, and then I will say uh, print I is 2 now whenever the I will be 2 exactly. But in the same scenario I can use this enumerate, right? So this thing will be index like this 0, and this thing will be element in the list like mangoes, right? And I can just say index is equal to 2 and it will just be a shortcut, right? So it's better to use in that case. And then we have the list comprehensions. Let's see the use case of this now. So we have a number list and I want to make an other list of squares of all those numbers, right? So square of 2 will be 4, square of 4 will be 16, right, and so on. So I will just say square number list, and in these square brackets at the first position I will just say what I want to add in my new list, right? This is the new list. So this thing I want to add, and from where what I want to add, I will just say 4 number in number list. So every element in the number list will be included in that expression, and this will be the term which we want to add in our new list. Now there is a traditional approach where we can use the for loops and creating an empty list. This concept is used a lot in programming. Like people don't use these as much as we use this, but it's like 1 line of code versus 3 or 4 line of codes, so it's better to use list comprehensions. But we can achieve the same thing. You can see the result are exactly same by using this approach, just appending using the append function and this expression in this empty list, right? And for all the elements in this number list, so I will be 2 and 4 will be appending to this one, then I will be 4 and 16 will be appending to this one, and we got our list. So that was it for the control flow, and these are the, you can say, topics which we will talk about a lot in programming, and we use it like every day, right? So this is it for the lecture 3, and I will meet you in the lecture 4 of this series. Thanks for watching.